It is no secret to anyone in content right now that LinkedIn's engagement is off the charts. On our most recent episode, we talked with Ross Pomerantz, aka Corporate Bro, a LinkedIn megastar, about how unbelievable the results he's seeing through LinkedIn are right now. On to the clip.
Yeah, I mean, so LinkedIn, like the primary functionality of LinkedIn is like anybody who interacts with something, it then goes out to their network. So it has like a very viral component to it. And so when I'm getting, a couple million views on my profile by itself, because people are always like, oh, who's this Corporate Bro? Like, who is the guy behind Corporate Bro? And like, why does he, say, I use LinkedIn a lot like Twitter, but like strictly business Twitter. And people then go see which companies I'm affiliated with. And therefore they're like, oh, these companies have an edge to them. These companies aren't soft or scared, or like they're more authentic to my voice. And so for LinkedIn, the companies may come to me and say, hey, we want to do like this single video. And I'm like, okay, well, here's how I would do it. And they may say, oh, this is probably a little more than we want to. And if they really push it to be a lot more than they want to, then I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I'm not the right person for this. Like, you can go have anybody go read your little script about how you're disrupting blank with blank. Companies they tend to be smaller that work with me just because they don't have PR departments. They don't have like the same HR oversight. They don't have like the brand guidelines that have to be strictly X or Y. It's the smaller, more agile companies that are willing to take risks to try and cut through. Like, they want to go at Salesforce. Salesforce doesn't give a shit. Salesforce is so big. Salesforce is so massive. They will just like laugh. It's like a little, not even a pinprick that anyone feels. So like, as long as you're punching up, right, then yeah. Salesforce doesn't care. These companies don't care. It's like a little opportunity to cut through the noise with something that is not as vanilla. And I think that's why it works, especially on LinkedIn.
Do you find conversion and the ability to reach audience and impact them on LinkedIn is off the charts compared to the other social platforms?
Absolutely off the charts. Yeah. Like 6-7x every single time. Like on a even average, mediocre to average, like below average post, it just does better.
It's so sneaky good, and it's not right for every content creator, if they're just doing mass market content. But I think it applies, for people listening. We had someone who was in the weather meteorology space, right? And they were starting their own weather network, right? But so many creators, I think, could better use LinkedIn, because you don't realize a good chunk of people are on there. People who are out of college basically have to be on LinkedIn now. So you do have normal people there. It's not just all professionals talking professional stuff, and the ability to reach people and target who you're reaching is pretty insane right now.
And they also just launched a whole creator program. Like, they are going in, and it's comical, because they're like, I'm part of their like creator program, and they're like, we just introduced the ability to like do a carousel post. Or now, like, and I'm like, yeah, Instagram and TikTok, they've all had this for 10 years. Like, they're introducing all these features that I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, you're so far behind, but it's actually great for that same reason. Like, the competition is so massive on TikTok and Instagram and these other, Facebook's basically dead, but like, it's so much easier to cut through on LinkedIn. It really is. It's like, it might as well be a brand new social network at this point.
There's like an arc of all social networks where, they hit that. TikTok probably hit it like a year or two ago, or like escape velocity, and then they reach mainstream, probably TikTok is right now, and then they just get flooded with shit, right? A, do you think that will happen to LinkedIn? B, do you think maybe they're protected a little bit because people on LinkedIn, there's not as many, I don't know, maybe there is, maybe you can help me here, but I don't think there's as many spam or bots as there are on Twitter and Instagram. You basically have to be a real person. You have your face on your account. You have your corporate, your professional identity tied to it. So is LinkedIn a bit more protected against that stuff than certainly Instagram, TikTok, Twitter are?
I think so. I definitely think so. I mean, they become a little more lax on a lot of things, partially because the content was so boring for so long. It was really easy. I got kicked off the platform a couple of times because I wasn't, quote, a real person. So eventually I had to make a company called Corporate Bro in order to keep posting my stuff. And then I just stopped giving a shit and started posting as Ross, which kind of was a strategic choice that I think helped a lot. Was kind of like, who is the guy who's doing this stuff, which allowed me to do a lot of different things. But for LinkedIn, yeah, I mean, it's so much harder to create a fake profile. It's so much easier to just be like, yep, fake. And there aren't the auto chat bots yet that they're really good at detecting that stuff. Even if they've been cracking down on people sending LinkedIn invites for years. And so like, I think they're pretty on top of it comparatively. Like there's generators that'll generate 1,000 TikTok accounts for you or 1,000 Instagram accounts. I don't think that's really a thing for LinkedIn at this point. It will deal with those problems.
Yeah, the long game seems to be working out really well here for LinkedIn, especially, I mean, you have Bob Iger and Elon now just, I mean, drip. I mean, it's becoming more and more clear what's happening at Twitter. I mean, there's a lot of issues with, security issues with TikTok too. So, I mean, it's, if you asked me a couple of years ago where I think LinkedIn would be trending, it certainly would not be as the one who's starting to look like the more secure future growth platform.
It is interesting. It's like the running a social network is so goddamn hard. And it's like, it's just impossible to get perfect or even mostly right, with all the issues with your bots, with politics, with like, the spam and the bullying. It's just like, there's a lot going on there, and LinkedIn is best equipped right now, just in its overall architecture to handle that, I think, at the moment. But I'm sure we'll see something new that I've never thought of, and that is scammy and whatever. They'll have that. They already have their own problems, but it'll be wild to see what LinkedIn looks like in 5 years.
If you like what you heard here, subscribe and listen to the Monetize Media Podcast.